Hello, this is Gabriel Jimenez with Gateway Wholesale Homes. This is Module 11. Welcome. This module is going to go over how to accurately work the leads in the FreedomSoft system. I may have to add updates to this module throughout, in the near future, but in the meantime, these are the steps that you're going to actually take to work the leads. This is the FreedomSoft system. When you come in to log in, this is the home page that you'll see. At this point, I should have already assigned you a username and password to gain access. You will have access to all of the areas that you're going to need to work in here without any hindrance. And if you do not have them, then I will shortly be assigning them to you. I'm just going to sign in here. Right now, I've got me and Irene set up. Irene is our administrative assistant, kind of like a lead manager as well. And then there's me. Okay, so I'm going to just log in. When you go there, just also click the Remember Me tab here. Let me just show you, just so that way it'll remember who you are. For the next time you come in, your name will already be recorded, and you don't have to keep typing it. So you would just hit Remember Me there, click Login. Okay, here is the dashboard. The dashboard may look something like this. When you first log in, it will have a community tab down here. This just lets you blog back and forth with other FreedomSoft community members. This is like a live community. So you have some advantages in here. If you ever get stuck or have questions, you can always click the community tab and ask questions. But typically I don't use that. I just press X right here. And again, if you want to ever get it back, you just hover over this little person right here and you click. Here's your dashboard, just kind of to introduce you to it a little bit. The dashboard will show you generally what properties are being worked on actively. There is no way of distinguishing who sees whose work on the dashboard. So generally, I would say, you may come in here and see 10 deals. Great. Just keep track of which deals are yours, and so forth. I can know which deals are whose, but you may not have access. Let me just take a look. If you click on one of the deals here, the only way you would know if this is your deal without keeping track of it is you'd want to come down here, and in this contact section, you would see your name associated with this lead. There's another way to track it too. I'll show you that as we go further into the system. Let me just go back. This is the return button. If you ever need to go back, you don't press back on the back arrow here. You press back here. Let me skip this. Okay, so here's what it looks like. Here are the two deals currently that are on the dashboard. These mean that the deal is either under contract or the contract is pending, meaning that it was sent to us. We just need to review it, sign it, and send it back. But that means that the seller has accepted our offer. Currently, both these offers were pretty low. This top one is a short sale. This one right here was from an active listing on MLS, and we went in with a 50% offer, and the seller wanted to accept our bid. So that's where these deals came from. Typically, though, this is how you get back to the dashboard, is this little house emblem up here on the left. I'm going to click back in there. That'll take you back home. Over here is your today's tasks. You can input new tasks by clicking here where it says add task, or you can, if you need to add a task, you click on it and you can assign someone. If you're a salesperson, your name would be assigned right here. Right now I have my name, I have our administrative assistant's name. If ever you need to assign anything to anyone, let's say you need me to do something, you would just simply click my name to assign it to me. If you needed Irene to do something, you would click her name and assign it to her. Simply click what the title is, any notes, set a reminder, and then click Save Task. Whenever any user goes into their profile, they will see their tasks here. When you are finished your task or anything that you need to do for a particular file, you simply click in the check mark right here. That way, what it does, by putting a check mark here in this box, is if I view on the calendar by clicking here, you actually see check marks next to each task that was done. The ones that are in red mean they're overdue, and if they do not have a check mark, instead they have a little dot, that means it still is due. Okay. So let me go back to the dashboard. This way you can keep a running tally to see, exactly what's coming up on your plate. If there's something you don't want to forget, or you need one of the other team members to jump in and help you out. So let's go back to the home tab. Now, Before we really get started, there's a couple of resources I want to show you also in here. I'm going to show you the tabs that you'll be using as a salesperson to access your leads and how we're going to actually, file the leads and manage them so that you can keep track of everything. Um, the main tabs that you're going to be working with are going to be the leads tab right here. You're going to be working in the marketing tab sometimes. If there's ever anything you need to do in here, I will usually be able to tell you. But the leads tab is going to be your bread and butter. And then you've got your Rehabbers GPS. This right here is where you're going to get your rehab estimator, your deal analysis. You're going to be able to get comps from your leads tab. I'm going to show you all that. And the classroom down here is going to be another resource. What you want to do is if you have a pen and paper handy, I want you to write this down because this is one of the first things that you're going to want to do after you go through this training. I highly advise going through this once. Take notes as you go through, but then instantly before you're done, before you go on to actually start practicing some of this stuff, I'm going to want you to go into the classroom and do a couple of these modules. They're no more than 5 to 7 minutes long, and they're going to be very helpful in you understanding how these tools work. So if you click on Classroom, you're going to go up into the success training videos. One of the good parts about this software is that a lot of the back end and trainings have already been included. All I have to do is direct you to where you need to go. I've been through all of this stuff. I've looked at every webinar, every training, every module that's in here. And certainly you as a salesperson will not need all of them. But here's what I want you to, here's what you are going to need. So go into the success training. These are numbered, okay, 1 through 22. Typically, you don't need to look at video number 4. However, if you do want to see how number 4 works, then or how you are getting the leads. In other words, how it is that Irene is scrubbing these leads before they're assigned to you. You can view that by hitting module number 4. I believe this is somewhere around 5 minutes long. Yeah, it's 5 minutes and 40 seconds long. That will give you an idea on what she's doing before you get the leads. That way you actually have an idea of how it, what work was done on them before they got to you. If you want to know how we get the leads, you would want to look at video number 1. This one shows our lead swiper campaigns. It shows how I set them up. It shows where how we determine what areas we're going to target. And it also is going to show you the type of lead that this lead swiper campaign is going to be pulling in. This lead swiper campaign, typically I have it set up to pull in for sale by owners. It doesn't only pull in for sale by owner leads. It will pull in at this point a catch-all account, which means any seller lead that shows up on Craigslist, that's the ones we're pulling in. And again, Irene is going to scrub them. She's going to determine whether or not it's a FSBO, whether it's a cash buyer lead that came in, whether it's an expired listing on the MLS, or whether it's an active listing. And once she determines that, she's going to dump it into your leads folder that you're going to be working out of. Okay, so far I told you about video number 4. I would definitely look at that. I would look at video number 1 just to acclimate yourself with exactly how we're getting our leads and where they're coming from. But the important ones that are going to help you do your job to know how to make offers, because that really is what your position is to, as salesperson, you're going to be analyzing deals, running comps, and getting them set up and ready so that we can pitch these and put together a marketing piece to our cash buyers. Video number 7, video number 8, number 9, and number 10. These are going to be your bread and butter right here, these 4. Video number 7 is only 6 minutes and 54 seconds long. It's going to show you how to do comps in this system. Although the trend MLS is a lot more detailed, if you understand how trend works and understand how this comping tool works, you'll understand and know how to make this tool work if in the event you don't want to leave this FreedomSoft in order to pull quick comps. These are not going to nearly be as accurate. You're not going to be able to get the amount of detail. So if because you have a certain level of experience, you're more comfortable with running a CMA in MLS, by all means do it. This is just a quick one. Again, this by all means is not intended to take the place of a CMA, but you can really use it to get a good idea. I've used both, and I've found that as long as you understand how to work this comp tool properly, you should be able to get a pretty fair and decent number on what what the property is worth that you're looking for, or you're looking at making an offer on. Video 8, Rehab Estimator. What this is, it's a 10-minute video. This is going to show you how to actually calculate and use the system to calculate what the rehab estimate and repair cost would be. This is helpful because when you're preparing marketing material and we send it out to these buyers, it's nice to give them as much information as we can up front. That way it also takes the decision process and makes it a lot easier for them. It takes it more out of guesswork for them because let's face it, sometimes folks buy properties that they should not buy, and we want to make sure that we are giving them all the tools they need to be successful as well, and to make it a really easy decision as far as how much is this property going to cost me to purchase and to fix, how much are closing costs going to be in the whole 9 yards. And this is a really valuable tool to give to your buyer to let them see the upfront cost. Video number 9. It says analyze like a pro. So this is a 14-minute video. Okay, so I was a little off. I thought all the videos were between 5 and 7 minutes, but actually they're a little bit longer. Analyze like a pro. So what this is going to do is this is going to show you how to actually create a deal analysis. You're going to have two options. One, to create an analysis if the person wants to fix and flip it, and the other to create an analysis if the person is going to buy and hold. This is going to be really important because it gives this deal analysis is also going to give you a green, yellow, and red light symbol, which is going to let you know as the salesperson whether or not you should proceed with this deal and make an offer, or whether you should not, based on those green, yellow, and red. Obviously, red means you will not be making an offer. Yellow means proceed with caution. Certain areas are going to be less cautionary than others. And green means go for it. So as you view this video, you're going to see how it makes sense in relation to how we make offers. The last video is going to be video number 10, how to make offers using FreedomSoft. Now, although there are a couple of different techniques in here, I'm going to show you the techniques that we use or that you'll be using directly. As far as what contracts to pull, I have uploaded a PAR, a standard real estate purchase agreement in here. Most of the information is pre-filled. The information that is not pre-filled has markers in there so that it automatically will pull the information out of the data we've collected, and it will pre-fill this sales application or sales contract with the appropriate figures where they need to, such as estimated sale date, offer price, name of the of the homeowner and the address, the title company we're using, good through date, things like that. And again, once you get through here, you will see what I mean, and certainly in conjunction with what I'll be showing you here today. Okay. So these are going to be key, those videos. Once you get through them, I would say, again, take thorough notes, review them as much as possible, ask me questions. It's not hard. The system is pretty easy, but in the beginning, it may be a little confusing, especially if you haven't done it, and I'm more than happy to help walk you through it. Okay, so now that we know about the classroom, we're going to go into the I'm going to kind of show you the process here. So what happens is initially I will start a campaign to pull leads in the system. Typically, there's several ways you can pull leads in the system, but I'm going to focus on the one that is getting us an onslaught of them. And right now, if you can take a look up here, you see that today 123 leads came in. If we were to take a look at the dashboard, you can see since I started this campaign only on the 28th, I started it at night. On the 28th, we got 10 leads. You can see that right here as the thing pops up. The very next day, on March 29th, I got 70. The day after that, March 30th, I got 139 leads, then 144, and then I decided to back it down a little bit because the leads started coming in faster than I could actually handle them. For these days down here, you can see I turned the campaigns off. I let Irene catch up. And then when I turned it back on, the very next day we got 160 leads, then 152 leads, and you can see where we're going with this. Obviously, we need to get some sales presence in here because even at my best, I'm not able to handle these by myself. Now, even though we got 921 leads in maybe about a week or so, all of these are not going to be viable leads. Some of them are going to be duplicates. Some of them are going to be buyer leads. And just to give you an idea for how this 921 leads has broken down, if you so far we got to here by clicking dashboard under the leads tab. If you go into my campaigns, it'll give you a little bit more data. So I'm just going to click on here. This right here will bring the three on the bottom. These three on the bottom happen to be seller campaigns. See right here, I have the word seller next to them. These five on the top are buyer campaigns. As you can see, we're getting far fewer buyer leads and a whole lot more seller leads. So I'm going to click on this arrow right here next to number of leads, and it's going to bring the seller leads up to the top. There we go. So in the Philadelphia catch-all campaign, since March 22nd, we've gotten 641 leads. In the South Jersey catch-all campaign, we've got 207 leads. And in the Philadelphia for sale by owner motivated sellers campaign, we got 30. These are going to be the most of the ones that we're focusing on. So let me show you what that kind of how we got to this point. I set up the lead swiper. The lead swiper lets you set up certain campaigns, whether you want to look for motivated sellers, buyers, or private lenders. I would go through this process. I clicked motivated sellers. I set our campaigns up, and voila. When I turned it on, we started getting leads almost instantly. Now, all of these leads are not, again, they're not scrubbed. Once they come in, they look like this. You can see that the status, all of these say new. Okay. Generally, what I do is I have Irene click this created at button right here. Because what that's going to do is that's going to bring and make the oldest ones appear on the front page. So I click that. Let me just click it again. Yep. So it went from April 7th, which is today, to April 5th is showing us the oldest ones. There are no older ones in here because Irene has been doing a great job at keeping up on the leads and scrubbing them. So what she does is she comes in here and she takes the oldest ones and she scrubs them first. What she's doing by scrubbing them is she's simply going to click on a lead. She's going to go down here and read this data right here. This house says this is my for sale by owner campaign, so this is our subject. The location is South Jersey. This ad reads nice affordable duplex house, produce passive income for years, 49,000, two-bedroom message. Here's a side-by-side duplex that can produce some nice passive income for years. Property can also be converted back to a single property, flipped for a nice profit. They're really, although we don't know if this is a motivated seller, we really don't know. So what she's doing is she's cutting and pasting this hyperlink into a Craigslist account, and she's doing a little bit more research. And the research that I'm looking for is to see if she's able to pull a contact name out of here, even maybe a contact email address or phone number. Now, if she is able to pull that information out of this ad or by going directly to Craigslist, she's going to fill that information into here. What she's going to do is she's going to click here. She's going to write add a contact. She's not going to replace this contact, and you never want to replace this contact with your own because this is the contact that got that lead into our system. It's a lot to explain, but just know that no matter what, you never want to replace my name and email address. Excuse me. All you want to do is you want to add to it. So if you were to be scrubbing these, you'd click add, you'd put the name, the number, the email, and the phone number, and you'd always click the check mark right here. That check mark is what saves the data. In this case, we're not going to be adding it. So I'm going to show you what she's going to be filling all this stuff out. It's going to go from, actually, she's not filling this out. All she's doing is she's going to color code it. If it's a good lead that we are going to move forward with, she's going to turn it green by choosing here. And she's going to be putting it into one of these folders. It's either going to go in for sale. It's either going to go in FSBO, for sale by owner motivated sellers. It's either going to go into rental landlord, or she's going to put it in, excuse me, into cash buyers or duplicate lead. There's a few other folders here. that I'm going to point out. First of all, I have mine, Gabe. This is the ones that I'm actively working on. I'll explain what this is in a minute. We've got expired listing leads and we've got listed on the MLS. You will not be working directly in these. What I'm doing is after the leads are imported into these folders by me usually from outside sources so that we can send multiple offers at the same time. But what Irene is doing is she's scrubbing them and letting us know that lead out of those 900 that came in is the person a cash buyer. If so, we'll categorize them there. Is the lead a duplicate? If so, great. We'll categorize them there so we're not calling the same person more than once. Is it a landlord who wants to rent their property? And this is good because we have different sales campaigns that we can send out to landlords and property managers. Um, or is it a motivated seller, somebody that's has a house for sale by owner? She'll categorize them. What I'm doing, since I'm going to be managing how these leads get dispersed, is once these leads get dumped, and you can see the folders are over here now on the side. There's also two more folders. There's the sales agent's name, and then there's working on seller deals or sales agent name, and it says new seller leads. Primarily, you're always going to go to this one first, the one that says new seller leads. Because what I'm doing is I'm going to take the leads. I'll take a look. I'm going to show you what a lead looks like after Irene scrubbed it. I'm going to go into for sale by owner motivated sellers. So here's what it looks like. Irene went in. You can see that there's some contact information. There's some email information. What she did is she scrubbed this lead by going in it. She read this information right down here. She determined that she can pull some information out of here. She found the lady's name. She put it here. She found the lady's telephone number. She put it here. She has a asking price, and you want to put that down here. So there, and then she's saving the lead. She's color coordinating it again. She's putting it in the appropriate folder. Here's where she color coordinates it. Here's where she's figuring out what folder she's putting it in based on the description. So this one's going in for sale by owner motivated sellers. Now, when I come in the beginning of the day, I'm going to take a look at all the leads that are in here in the for sale by owner motivated sellers. As you can see right now, within the first week, there's 257 active for sale by owners. This is huge. This is great opportunity. If you've got a real estate license, fantastic. You'll be able to double wham these people and try to get them for a listing, as well as selling them, having us do a wholesale deal for them. If this person does not want their house listed, no big deal. Some people don't want to pay a commission, a real estate commission, and that's why they're selling it for sale by owner. If that's the case, you're going to get paid anyway off of the wholesale side when this deal closes. So what I do is I'm going to go into this for sale by owner folder. I'm going to let's say, okay, we've got 200 in here. I'm going to check all these, and then I'm going to go to page 2, and I might check all of page 2. If I go to page 2, and I would check all of page 2. I'm going to go up here to move to. I would scroll down here to move to, scroll down and find your folder. There's your folder right there. I would click on it. Boom. All of these would move from out of this for sale by owner, and they'd move directly to your new seller leads. That means that now when you click in here, you're going to have all of your leads for the day that you need to work on. Anything new is going to be in here. So again, you'd be clicking on it in here. You'd see that under the status, they all say new. That means they haven't been touched. Now I'm going to show you what my leads look like after I've actually worked on them, because the whole goal is to take them from out of this folder and move them into the working on folder. This means that a deal is actively moving forward. That means that somebody could be, your contract is in review. Maybe a seller is considering it. Maybe they gave you a counter offer. I'm going to show you how I statused them in my folder named Gabe working on seller leads. So yours is working, your agent name working on seller leads. Mine is working on seller leads as well. So let me show you. Right now I've got 43 of them in here that I'm actively working on. How I got all these is simple. I sat and put out a mass. I used an offer bot tool and I put out a 200 offers. Out of those 200 offers, I started getting emails back instantly. Once I got an email back, I could status it, and I would look, and I would let me open up one. I would look for the address that the person was calling me or emailing me back on, and I went into the lead, and I already knew it was green. Okay, I already knew that it was in this, let's say, for sale by owner. So let me just show you as I go down. Actually, I don't want to show you this first. This is going to be towards the end. Okay. So you want to choose deal type. This would be wholesale. If it was a REO, you want to put REO. If it's a short sale, put short sale. The only tabs I ever really work with is short sale, wholesale, or REO. These other ones really don't matter. I don't really categorize them beyond that. I just want to know if let's say the realtor or someone that I'm talking to says, this is a short sale and the bank won't accept that, then I want to remember that. So I click the short sale tab and I'd go forward and mark it that way. The source, in my particular case, this lead that I'm working on came from an expired listings campaign that I did. So I sat down here, I chose that it came from the expired listings, and that's how I can categorize it. In your case, you would want to choose down, since you're working on the campaign leads, you'd want to put down lead campaigns. You'd want to check that right like that. Okay. Again, this one was an expired listing, so I'm just going to show you how you would change it. Status. Okay, now, based on the email response I got back, the realtor said, I'm submitting your offer and the seller will be reviewing it. We'll get back to you. So that's what I chose. There's other options in here. You can choose whether or not the seller counter offered, whether the seller said, that offer's too low. You can you can choose whether you just emailed the offer with the proof of funds. Whether the property's been sold already, because that might be the case. Or if, let's say it's a dead deal because it was an REO and it's sold already. Well, you just want to click that. If you actually get it under contract, there you go. You're gonna click under contract. Or and so forth. You get the idea. If it's contract pending, you want to do that. If it's listed currently, if you're working on a listed lead, you can choose that right here, yes or no. Generally, what I do, if I just wrote a little note down here in notes that I made them a 50% offer, 50% offer, and generally, if I'm reading an email, I'll cut and paste the comment of that email right into the notes. So I just wrote 50% offer sent, and then I just cut and pasted right out of the email. This is what the realtor told me. I'll speak to the seller, but that number isn't even close. I just put that in there. That way, when I am calling this person back and I want to talk to them about this, I know who to ask for and I know what to say. Hey, listen, I know we sent you an offer, and our offer price in this case was $87,450. Because I put a 50% offer, we know this person was asking twice that amount. But I can go right to them and say, hey, listen, we're really interested in the property, but this is what places are selling for in the area, and this is what we can offer. Either the person's going to take the offer or not, no big deal. I have to state, you will be making a whole lot more offers on this side of the business than you are ever really actually going to get accepted. It is truly, truly a numbers game. Part of what the magic in wholesaling is that we do play the numbers, but we play them at such a discount that it doesn't really matter to an extent what you're buying if you get the property for a low enough LTV. If you can get it for half price, well, it kind of is. It's like this, the right price will sell anything. If you're in a rougher area where it's hard to move properties, but you can offer it at 50%, you're most likely going to be able to move it because people see opportunity in that, and you're going to be able to move that. Now over here, what you want to do is this. Now, typically this lead will be, let's say in my case, it says Gabe working on seller deals. Now, if I were to um, move this, in your case, you'd be down here, new seller. So this box would be checked. What you'd want to do is you would want to check it into this box. So you want to put a check mark here because the whole goal is now you've taken it and now it's not a brand new lead anymore. You've actually contacted this person. You've made some type of contact with them, whether you emailed them an offer, whether you talked to them on the phone already and you got the person's email address and said, listen, I'd like to send you an offer. Whatever you're doing, okay, the whole goal is to move it from out of new seller leads into something you're working on. Or if it's dead, it's just dead. And in that case, you would checkbox this one. But whatever you do, whatever box you move it to, so if, for instance, if I'm going to move it to here, okay, I want to take this check mark off. And then you want to click Apply Changes. So I'm going to uncheck mine and show you what happens. Oh, wait. So I'm going to uncheck this box. I'm going to move it to yours for working on. I'm going to click Apply Changes. And then whenever you click Apply Changes, and just you always have to click Save Lead. If you do not save it, it will not go into your folder. So you want to save lead. Therefore, when I go back and I look at the folder box, you will see that you've been assigned one lead down here. Okay. If you click on it to open it up, open your folder up, you'll see that's the lead you were just assigned. Now, obviously, this is one that I was working on to show you as an example, but your goal is, and again, if let's say this was the only one you were working on, and it still said one here and one here, that means that you forgot to unselect the folder that it was coming out of. So in other words, that would mean you still had the check mark in this box right here. Now I'm going to switch this back because this is my lead. And I'm going to take your check mark off that it is under working on deals. And again, you always want to click apply changes because that will not change and save otherwise. And you want to click save. Now here's another thing. If you find that you need more folders to help manage your leads than you see assigned here, not a problem. Simply go up here, click manage, click new group, and you can add whatever you want. Just put your name in the front so you know that it's your folder. I'm going to X this out right here though, but this is how you would do it. So this is how I created yours. This is how I created all of these. You simply want to go in here and just write your name, write something so you know exactly what it is, and then you're going to press save changes. That's how you would create a new folder. So again, I'm going to be going into each of these folders. Primarily, I'll be pulling leads for you and assigning them out of the FSBO, out of the expired listings, or out of the listed on MLS deals. You'll just know you'll have a random selection of leads in your new seller leads. Now, I showed you what the FSBO leads look like. Here's what the expired listings look like. Again, they're all new. These have not been worked just yet. You're going to see the listing agent's name. You're going to see the listing agent's telephone number. And if we scroll out, I didn't put their email address in this, but if you click in here, you will see their email address listed here, listed. Scroll down a little bit. You'll see what the listing price was, the person's name, their phone number. You'll even see the MLS number in here, the date that it was listed. You'll see their email address, and any other information that you need about that. So that's what the expired listing leads look like. Any folder you're currently working on will be highlighted in light green, as you can see. The listed leads look very similar to the expired listings. Let me click on that and show you. Again, you'll see that these are all active. The status is active. This active would be the same as new. That means that, yeah, they're active in the MLS, but you have not worked on them yet. Nobody has touched these yet. So again, your goal is when you're contacting these people with the telephone number, you can either call them and talk to them about the property, if you don't know the information. Now, keep this in mind, and I hope I'm not losing you on this one. Under the expired listings tab and under the listed on MLS tab, these two groups of leads that I assign you will have information in there about the property. It'll tell you the listing price or the expired listing price. It'll tell you the agent's name. So these are going to have a little bit of more information on it than the FSBO ones are going to have. The FSBO leads, again, that's why Irene scrubs these, is because she's trying to get a person's name out of there to whom you can call. Now, this person on the expired or the listed, you're going to know who to call, and you're also going to know the asking price. But in the FSBO leads, you're not going to know necessarily what the person was asking for the house, or who to talk to. So that's why you're going to be making most of your contact in the FSBO leads through the phone. These expired listings or listed on MLS, you can actually make these offers directly through, by emailing them. Now, I'm going to go into some of the leads that I'm working on. Or I'm going to take it from a new lead and just show you what I would do from this. Okay, how do you actually work these? Now that you know where the folders are, how to assign leads or how to work them once they've been assigned to you, and how to manage them within your folder groups, let me show you what I would do from scratch. All right, I'm going to take one that has not been worked on. So what I would do, and I'm going to show you how I would handle both of these. So in this case, This person I don't know anything about. I just know that they're asking 9,000. I know that the lady's name is Kay, and I know here's her contact telephone number. Now, ideally, what I would like to do is send Kay an offer. Okay, so she can present it to either if she's it says for sale by owner, but this may be a realtor for all I know, or it could be the homeowner. Either way, I want to get this person's email address so that I can email them an offer because it's nice that we're talking to them and telling them we're interested in their property, but we actually want to put our money where our mouth is and actually put an offer out there, give them something that's signed that they can actually respond back to, because it's a whole different game and ball of wax when someone sees, it's like a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. When someone actually sees that they've got a signed sales agreement and an offer with a proof of funds attached, then they know someone's serious about it. So in this case, I would click on here. I would want to call Kay. I might want to ask her, for sure, I'd want to ask her what her email address is. I'd fill that in down here. I would simply click on the pencil. This is how you edit. I would fill in her email address. You don't really need her fax, but then you would click the check mark to save it. You would want to ask her if you did not know, what the asking price is. You might want to put some notes in here. Under here, what I would do is just simply start the notes on the top. You can enter down like this, start at the top and say, seller is motivated, will consider all offers. Boom. Okay, then you would just want to, you'd want to save that. Anytime you update this system, you would want to save it. Okay, but remember, you want to move this from new seller because now you've spoken to this lady. Okay, on to working on deals. It's going to go into working on deals anytime you're going to send a contract out. Okay, if you find out that the deal is sold at this point, or that the person just decided, you know what, I'm going to keep the house and it's not a deal anymore, you simply can switch it to duplicate or dead lead folder. And again, you would take it out of your folder by unchecking the folder it's in, and you would check the folder that you wanted to go to and then press apply changes. So let's say this person gave you their email address and you filled it in right here. Let's just say K at gmail.com. So now you've got her email address. You saved it. Now you know a little bit about the property, and now you want to make her an offer. So this is what you're going to do. Ideally, you want to be making offers every single day. The more offers you make, the better off you're going to do. It's very easy for you to close, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, even, just depending on how hard you work, how busy you want to be. But you want to make offers every day. I consistently try to say, keep it to at least 5 offers. If you can make 4 to 5 offers at least every single day, you are going to be busier than you know what to do with. You're going to find that you're going to always have people you're speaking with. You're always going to have contracts that are getting signed and sent back. And then our job starts, because really your job as a wholesaler, really above all things, is a marketer. Our job is to market these properties and get them sold. So after you've gotten this information, you're going to scroll back up to the top. You see this little next to the Save Lead tab, it says there's 3 buttons. You want to click on this. Then you're going to go down to Generate Document. Here is where our contracts are. Now, you're going to see a couple of ones in here. Over here on the side, it says Package. Some say Document. Over on the very top one, you'll see it says Seller Offer Package /AB, Par Form and Proof of Funds. This is the form that has your realtor name already in here as the agent working with us when we make offers. It also has it's going to attach a proof of funds. This proof of funds will be defaulted to have the date and the property address on it, and it's going to take that information directly off of the information you were able to obtain by filling out the information. Oh, incidentally, I forgot to say, when you are in your lead, if a person is telling you, hey, let's say it was a FISBO, and you called the ad, you got the lady's telephone or her email address, you got her phone number, you got the asking price. You need to make sure you're getting the actual property address, because a lot of these leads or ads don't have the property address. It might say 29XX Hurley Street, or it just might say in Northeast Philadelphia. You want to get that property address because obviously you can't make an offer on a property you don't know which one it is. You're not going to be able to pull comps on a property you don't know what it is and all that. So you simply come in here, you do edit address, you would click on it, and this is where you'd be inputting the property address, and then click the check mark to save it. So those are the most important fields. You want to do property address. You want to put notes in here. You want to put the contact information in here. And again, you want to update any notes and an asking price, and then always save after you've assigned your folder. So address, notes, lead information, asking price information, correct folder, and then save. That's always what you want to do. Again, you'll wind up doing all this work, not press save, and you'll wonder why you can't find your lead or why everything erased in there. And then that's why. Now, I want you to notice a couple of things about this. So here you are in your lead. This is before we actually go on to this generating a document. Some other things you can do inside this lead sheet. Let's say you're talking to the seller, and the seller wants to tell you a little bit about their property. If you hover over here and click Street View, it's going to open up this, and it's going to give you a map of where they are. And sometimes this map will open up directly into a Street View. If it does not, you simply hover over this little man right here, this yellow guy. You drag him right over. You place him right over top of the dot like that, and you let it go. And this is what you're going to see. If you put the mouse anywhere and spin it around, you're going to see this right here is our property. There it goes. That's a piece of junk. You see it's all boarded up. You see that the streets are all junky and messy. You can say, you know what, I don't know. Or you can say, listen, that place is pretty beat up. You know, you can see all the trash on the corner. You can actually walk the streets if you want. You can go down here. You can walk them. You can go down the street. You can get a real feel for the actual neighborhood. Okay, here's Hurley Street. This is the one we're talking about. Okay. You can just make a determination for how much negotiation power you have. Hey, this is a real beater. You know it's been on the market for a long time after you spoke to the seller, and you know it's in an area that's pretty rough. You might say 9,000, that's way overpriced. The only way this makes sense for me is to buy it at 3,000. But at least you have some type of knowledge as far as what you're looking at while you're talking to the person. You can also map it. You can click right here, and again, that just brings you this map. You can zoom in, you can zoom out, you know, just to give you an idea. And you can click satellite. This is just a typical Google map. Okay. The next thing. So here you are, you've decided that you're going to make an offer. So let's go to step 2. You go up to where these 3 buttons are. You click this button right here. You go to generate document. You're going to usually 9 times out of 10, you're going to pick the top one, seller offer package. You're going to check mark it, and you're going to press the arrow up here to advance it. This is actually going to fill the steps in. So as you can see, some of these areas are already mapped. So you got the primary contact name, you got the property address here, you got the current date, so they'll date the contract. You've got the city, the state, and the zip code. And then you've got a closing date. So let's say that the closing date would be, you want to say, just hypothetically, I always push it out 30 days. You simply would push it out. Today is the 7th. You would just do 30 days from the 7th. So it would be, let's say, the 7th over here in May. Acceptance date. If you want to create some urgency and get this person to accept it in the next 3 days, then you would just put down, 3 days from now, so the 10th. Now, this is going to default on your contract, these dates that you're filling in. Certain contracts, they'll ask you to put in the asking price and whatnot. So I'm going to show you how this works. Okay, so then now once you fill this information in, let's make sure everything is in that needs to be. You're going to click Advance over here. Next step. This is going to let you preview the document. Okay, so here we go. Some of this stuff is already filled in already. You can see that the document's not fully straight. It was just the way it was scanned into the system. But look, it puts the contact information. And again, if the contact name is, the seller's name is not K, then you'd want to just put that as the contact person. I mean, when you're talking to this person, if this is the realtor, you can say, what's the contact person's name? You would simply fill that in on your lead sheet and then put the listing agent down in the section that has the listing agent. Here's where the address got pre-filled. Here is our realtor information right here. I thought the telephone number was pre-filled in here, but perhaps not. You can take care of all that. If you're going to fill all this in, go for it. On the second page, you can see that we've got our deposit amount. Up here is where purchase price is. Now, the reason why this didn't pull over, the purchase price did not pull over, is only because in the lead I showed you, I didn't actually have purchase price filled out. Okay, if it were filled out though, instead of just asking price, but if the purchase price were filled out, meaning that that's the price you're willing to pay for it, that would be here. So after your calculations, you're going to fill out that amount right here. You're going to go down and check the pages you need to. Here's the settlement date. Here's the 30 days out that we were looking for. Time is of the essence. This is when we said we wanted them to accept the contract by. And then really nothing else gets filled out on here except for if you go to the last page, you'll take a look and notice that the signature's already in there. Name of our company. The initials are where they need to be. We put this in here, settlement to take place, Capital Assurance Group, and then automatically it's going to fill in today's date. So this contract should be filled out. Now, and also if you want to take a look at the last document, here's the proof of funds. So the proof of funds will automatically date as well. It'll put the address in there. And this one is going to be a very standardized, because it was hard for me to map the field to put down what the purchase price was. So we just gave ourselves, we have an approval with an open line amount right here. So this has been sufficient up until now. Once you've reviewed the contract and you make sure it's exactly how you want it, just keep in mind you can always move stuff around. Let's say that you're on the last page of the contract and you don't want this to be here, but you want it to be here. You can make adjustments to this. You can also click in here and actually type something in. So like, and if you make a mistake and you put a box where it doesn't need, just exit. Now let me show you an example. So over here, we didn't map the field so that the asking price was put in. However, here's page 2 of the agreement. If you click in this agreement, just like this, and you want to type $100,000 in here, oh wait, where are we at? Let me push numbers lock. You want to type in the let's say 200,000. You simply type it in. That's all. And then you make sure there's your asking price. So you can either fill it in and customize it here from this screen, or if it was pre-filled on the lead sheet, you'd want to do it that way. Now, when you're all done and you're sure that everything is right, you're going to come up here and press complete. So what it's doing is it's generating your actual package. Okay. You can see that the generating wheel is spinning. Once this wheel has spun, you're going to we're going to give it a little time to do its thing. It's still doing it. But basically, this is where you're going. You can see down here some of these tabs that are already available to you: to download, email, fax, or you can even delete it. There's going to be a little checkbox that appears here. This is probably taking a little longer because the contract has many pages. In the past, I was using a shorter contract, but I was getting some pushback by some of the realtors that were, dealing with these listings, and I just figured it's easiest just to send this form out. Looks like the system's running a little bit slow. I'm going to come back to this if it doesn't come up in the next second. But basically, you could view it in here. You're going to be able to email it directly from here. But again, this is just how you would submit the package. This is how, this is the final step after you know how much you're going to offer. Now, I'm going to come back to this. So you looked at your lead. Oh, here we go. So let's see here. Now it came through. You would check mark it. You would email. In here I have, there's some standard templates. I generally do not use the standard one that comes up. If you click on this little email box right here, I will find one of the ones that says Um, let's see here. Let me show you one of the cash offer, Craigslist, for sale by owner, and this is to sellers. You can play with this one. You can say, look, offer to buy from an agent. This is if it was a lead that was an expired listing or one that's active. If and let me just give you an idea what some of these say. So if you click on this one, if let's say you're dealing with actually let me deal with the one that we're working on. We're dealing with a for sale by owner. So this is the FISBO. This is what it says. Hey, and it fills the person's name in here. Attaches an as-is contract for sale on your property. It fills the address in. The offer price is net to you. Will cover your normal closing costs outside any taxes. Please sign and send back me right away. I've got offers out on 3 similar properties, and I only have cash to close on one of them right away. As soon as I get this back from you, we'll get everything over to our title company and open up escrow. And you can see down here, seller offer package. It's the PAR form and the proof of funds. Both of these forms are going to attach automatically, so you don't need to do anything else other than if you wanted to send a copy to yourself, you would find your email in here, click send a copy to me, or you can BCC it to yourself right here, send a copy to yourself, and then press send email. Now, again, if you want to view what you're going to be sending before you send it, here's how you view it. It does, you know, this is going to take a while to load up, so I'm not really going to sit here and wait for this page to load up. But you could view your documents just by clicking in that box, and you would wait for all that to load up. But it's the same offer or the same package that you saw us creating. So how you get to all this, okay? Here's how you get to all this. Yeah, you can see there's a seller package there, but what on earth do you know, or are you going to know what to offer? And here's what you're going to do. So let me show you how you could see here under the attachment. So here's your lead detail. The lead details will show you any communications you've had. In other words, if I email this out to someone, it'll put a copy in your communications tab. If you have photos because you pulled it off of the MLS and you're working on this property, all the photos will be stored here. Any attachments, meaning contracts, any comps, any of the fix and flip analysis or repair estimates, all of those are under attachments. Any tasks you assign are going to be listed under here. Your comps, well, you can pull comps from here if you want. Let's start out with that. Let's go pull comps. So here's what you do. You click on the comps button. It's going to open up this screen right here. This is a pretty cool ninja tool. What you're going to do is you're going to take a look to make sure your address is here. Looking at 2-bedroom, 1 bath, 784 square feet. If you click on any of these, you can prioritize according from closest to furthest. You can prioritize sold dates, prices from lowest to highest, square footage, the whole 9 yards. I normally like sticking with the properties as close as possible, so I organize it from the closest to the furthest. As you click on these, you're going to notice that up here, these colors that are green, these little houses, will change blue to show you which one is in proximity. You can see this one is right next to our property. If I unclick it, obviously this ball, this blue ball, that's our subject property. And now if we start clicking properties near it, we can see that the blues are popping up all around this. That means all these properties right here are in vicinity and within blocks. You also would want to look for, when you're dealing with the comps, a lot of these say 3 bedrooms, but maybe you wanted to organize it to see just the 2-bedroom ones. So you want to uncheck these. You want to look for the ones that are 2 bedrooms because ours is a 2-bedroom. And you want to find the closest comps, 2-bedroom, 1 bath. Well, you can see all the 2 bedrooms, 1 bath here, similar square footage. They're selling for 40,600, 41,000. As you click these boxes, you want to choose, anywhere from 3 to 6 comps. Your tallies are estimating over here. So based on these 6 comps that we chose, it's giving us an estimate based on these sold properties of 31,000. So keep this in mind. Our job as wholesalers is to get these below market. That property was being sold at 3,000. You can already see the property is at 30% of what the going price is. If you were to offer 50% of going price, you'd actually be offering 15,000. So obviously the lower the better. I mean, this person already has that property priced so low, it would seem like it was a no-brainer. But what you'd want to do is after this is done, you'd sit up here, you'd press print comps. You can print this. I generally would save it to a folder. And then once you save it, okay, you go back to here where it says return to leads. and you could simply go to your attachments file right here, or attachments tab. You go to attach a file, and you would pull in wherever your deals folder is. I have ones called offers, REO and MLS offers. I would click in here, I would find the folder that I assigned it to. I would go in there and I would pull those comps out and I would attach it. So let's say it was this one, comps were in here, there's my comps, I would attach it. And then, and let me just, even though this isn't the one that applies, I'm going to attach it and press open so you can see it pull in. It does that. And then we can refresh the page. Let me get out of here and go back in. Let's see, it did not attach that, but let's take a look. Let me do it again. Sometimes it takes a couple seconds for it to download, but my system is running slow today, so just know that when you attach it, generally it'll populate right away in here. Okay. And that's where it's going to be. And for that matter, any of the items that you attach are going to show here. So if you have a comp, it'll show here. The fix and flip analysis, it'll show here. Okay, so now that you've got a property that you've figured out what the comps are, you're going to go up here to Rehabbers GPS. Now, in the classroom, you would have learned how to use this Rehabbers GPS. I am not going to go over that too much in this video. I don't want to make this video any longer than it has to be. But just know that in the same fashion that you generated a comp and you saved it or pressed print to save it, you're going to do the same thing to the rehab estimate that you get. So if I wanted to just open up one of these rehab estimates, this is one I was working on. I did the system, or I plugged in all the pieces, which again you'll learn in that class, that short video. You'd go down here to print flyer. When you print it, it's going to print it to a PDF. You save it in a folder, and then when you come back to your actual deal that you're working on, when you come back to the deal you're working on, you'd find it, and you would see it sitting in your. I don't even know where the deal is right now. Let me go back to here. This is where we're working on it. You'd go back in and you would go to attachments and you'd see it sitting in there as well. So if I wanted to show you what one looks like after all of your reports are in, I'm going to go to mine, or one of the ones that I've listed as a property. So if I go in and I choose this lead, this is one that I've, that we're going forward on it. You can actually see under attachments, there's comps, fix and flip analysis, repair estimates, buy and hold. Now, the reason why this is important to attach all these here is I'm going to show you why. When Irene is making up the marketing pieces, she is going to come here and pull these documents from this database or from here. She also can pull them from the Dropbox. I'm also going to give you access to the Dropbox so that you can pull from there or upload to there so Irene does not have a problem finding them. The reason why these reports are important, because when she makes our marketing piece up that we're going to send out to the cash buyers, let me just show you what one of our web pages or one of these seller pages looks like. This is what one of the pieces looks like. That's going to this is to our web page. So in other words, when a buyer gets an email marketing letter and they like one of the properties we're advertising on, they click it and it brings them right to the website. Here's our website. Here's a page on it that they can get all the information they need. They can download the comps here. So in other words, if I click download comps, this opens. Here's the comps that I downloaded, that I created in and got out of FreedomSoft. If I went and clicked on, oh darn it, I accidentally closed that page out. Let me go back into it. If your buyer was to click on repair cost estimates, they'd click on that, and here's the rental grade versus fix and flip. Shows for a rental, it's going to cost $31,000 to fix it up. Fix and flip for this size property for the type of repair you're going to need, it's $75,000, and it even gives a breakdown of what those repairs are. And again, you should have learned about this in the module in the training. And again, so forth. So you do the same thing with the flip and buy and hold analysis. So she's taking it directly out of here and uploading it into here for our buyers. She's also taking the most recently sold comp dates and she's putting them right into here. All of the photos that you're putting, that she's using for the slideshow like these, she's going to be taking it either out of Dropbox or she's taking it right out of here, out of the Photos tab. Here's where I uploaded them all in here. All right. So you can see how all of this starts to tie into one another. Now, let me go back to my property details tab. So far, I showed you how to um, run the rehab estimator, how to do comps, how to do a deal analysis, how to upload them, and how to status your leads. Once the person accepts your contract and you are going to take it out of lead status into a property. So a property means that you actually have a deal. You've got a deal. Congratulations, you've got a deal. You don't want it to just be hovering in your leads bin anymore. You want to move it over to a property because right now this is still a lead. So let's go back. You see that it's still in your lead. Well, let me go back to the one example we're working on. We're working on FSBO. Okay, you're in here. You realize you have all the documents you need now attached. You're going to go in here and you're going to, it's right down here, it says convert to property. You would click convert to property. Okay, that way, you know now it's out of your lead bin directly onto here. And also what you're going to remember to do is switch your folder. So right now, if it went from, again, you want to make sure it's not in your whatever folder it was in. If it was in your new seller leads, if it's in your working on seller leads, fine, that's fine. You don't have to switch anything. But once you switch it to my properties, you're going to be able to do, to work on it more in here. So let me show you a little bit about what you can do once it's in your my properties. My properties, are the view is a lot smaller than the leads. Obviously, there's only 2 in here because these are the ones we're working on now. When you go into my property so that you can see them on your main dashboard, which is the first thing I showed you, you go back in here where the 3 buttons are, you click on it, and you would just uh, put right here, um, you would move it to your whiteboard, and then all you would do is just click here, edit whiteboard, and when you come back and you look at everything you've got working on your whole pipeline, you're going to see it. This is your whiteboard right here. You're going to see them listed right here. If you ever have to make any changes to it, you would just go in there and click edit whiteboard. And that's it. This is your goal. Again, you're going to work your leads. Your goal is to get them, get an offer out to them. And then your goal would be to get a contract out after you've worked up your figures, and you want to move this along so that you have contracts coming in. Now, just a little bit of advice. When the marketing pieces go out, they will not have your email address on it or your name. Generally, if an email or a phone call comes in, all of the phone calls are recorded. I do not answer any of them. If it comes in on a property that is your deal, I simply forward you the whole email and recording. So when you open up that lead in your email, you'll hear the person's voice come over your speakers. They're going to say, hey, this is, Mr. Jones calling about the property you sent us a contract on, or hey, I just received your contract. I have some questions for you about it, or I'm going to sign it and send it back. Whatever it is, you'll know what that message is, and then you can respond directly back to that person because you will have that lead. And that's it. I don't know that there's anything else I need to go over as of now. I will be adding to this, and typically what I'll do is if there's something that I see you need help with or something that I think you might be unclear of, I generally will send that to you in the form of a job aid. The job aid is a video similar to this one. Generally, job aids are not any longer than 5 minutes because that is the recording capacity of each of my job aids. Sometime I will put them into several parts like part 1, 2, and 3. But again, those are going to be designed to help you with, help you critique or fine tune some of the work that you've done. Occasionally I'll come in here just to make sure that you're doing and statusing everything correctly and moving them along the way that you need to. And I might say, hey, here's an email with a job aid. Generally, you'll just click on the link in the job aid that I send you, and it'll open it right up into an internet browser, and you'll be able to view it right there. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I know I threw a lot at you. Once you get the flow of it, it's pretty easy. Actually, it's really easy. It's going to make your life run very smoothly as far as how we get these offers out. There are advanced methods for sending out group offers. At the moment, you will not be having to worry about that. At some point, I'll show you how to do it if you have the desire to do that and slam yourself with business. But I'll tell you real fast, it gets overwhelming quick depending on how many you send out because you have the capacity and potential to send out 1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000 offers all at once if you really wanted to. I sent out 200 and got slammed overnight. So I definitely do not recommend doing that again. But certainly there will be a time where you'd want to play with that function. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you for taking the time to learn this module, and I look forward to having a great working relationship. All right, man. See ya.